What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another movie review. I'm Chase Lee, and the movie I want to take a look at right now is Palm Springs. Now, this one comes from Hulu. It is directed by Max Barbakow. I hope I pronounced that correct, because that is a really cool last name. This one tells the story of Niles, played by Andy Samberg, and he's kind of carefree, doesn't really, pay attention to anything. He's just drinking, having a blast on this day that this wedding is set on. He's just enjoying life, not really caring about what's going on. And the reluctant maid of honor, Sarah, played by Kristen Milioti, they have a chance encounter at a Palm Springs wedding. Things get complicated as they're unable to escape the venue, themselves, or each other. So they go into a infinite time loop of this one day, and they can't escape it after they find this kind of like wormhole cut in the universe. They enter it, and so they cannot escape. November, was it 9th or 10th? The day just keeps repeating itself, and Sarah, her sister, is getting married. Niles is just kind of there as one of the guests in the wedding, so they have to relive this day over and over again until they can figure out what to do. But then, obviously, when you spend that much time with someone, you start to fall for them. Well, hopefully. So, going into this, I was super excited. I like Andy Samberg. I like Lonely Island. I like when they're venturing out into the film universe and giving smaller films a shot with their Lonely Island Classics production logo that they have, which I don't know how Sony Pictures Classics hasn't sued them yet, because it's literally the same font, same color, and everything, unless they're partnered with Sony, and I'm just unaware of that, but I just always thought that was funny. But they dipped into the film kind of space when they did Brigsby Bear a few years back with Kyle Mooney. That was the first time I saw their production logo, and Brigsby Bear is such a delight. I would highly recommend that one too. And so I was curious to know like what would be their next one. And so this is it. Andy's in it, and I love Kristen Milioti. I'm a huge fan of How I Met Your Mother, so that's where I discovered her, and she kind of pops up occasionally in films, and she just always is a delight. So this seemed like a win-win, and J.K. Simmons is in it. So I really was not hoping for anything bad. Like, everything just seemed like it was going to click. I mean, it's a film that has like an infinite time loop story, so they're reliving the same thing over and over again. So yeah, it's got the Groundhog Day feel, but it's a romantic comedy, really kind of poignant, things about life and just how mundane it can get sometimes, and how maybe sometimes when you meet that right person, it can get you out of that funk, and life doesn't seem as meaningless anymore. So there's a lot of stuff kind of going on. So I was curious to know how it would be executed. So I saw it. I love it. It's a top 10 contender right now until something, until I see more great movies and it just keeps knocking it down to like number 10 or just knocks it out of the list. But right now, this is one of my favorite films of the year. I am a huge fan of romantic comedies. I know that's quite shocking. I don't really discuss that a lot, but I love romantic comedies, and I love anything that can make it different and make it stand out. And definitely having the time loop scenario is definitely interesting, and that's what keeps the kind of freshness of this movie going. And that's what makes this movie so tightly edited. It's always just going at 1,000 miles per hour, but you can understand everything that's going on. Nothing's too complicated with like the physics that are presented in the movie. It's a pretty straightforward explanation of what's going on, but it's just so much fun. It is so much fun to watch these two relive the same day over and over again. And the cool thing is, like, they can remember everything from the previous looped day, so they can carry it over until infinity, until they break the loop. But they remember everything. Their relationship is growing stronger. They speak a lot about how this loop is an allegory for life, and how it just seems meaningless sometimes, and how some people just don't know where to go in life, and they always feel like they're stuck in this rut. It's such an interesting way to kind of go about that. And I think using the time loop scenario is not only entertaining, it can also be funny with some visual gags and some of the line readings, and then also just a really kind of poignant look on life as well. And so that's where the kind of like drama comes in. It's not a lot, but it's just kind of like a nice thin layer at the bottom of drama and real human emotion that just makes this movie a little richer than the surface level plot description. But yeah, absolutely love this story and the characters involved. I think the chemistry between Sandberg and Milioti is chef's kiss. If I could just do that in video form, there you go. It's just really sweet. It's a tender relationship. They have such great back and forth with one another. Their romance seems real. Their banter seems real. Just even if they weren't romantically involved in this movie, just them even being friends is really, really touching. And you can definitely tell at first they're just getting to know each other and getting to understand like this whole time loop situation. But the further we get down into their relationship, it becomes just really sweet and just really kind of loving, and you can definitely see them being together when they get beyond this scenario that they're in. But I just thought everything that they had with each other was really well handled. Also, interacting with all the other players involved with this film, I thought everyone did a great job. J.K. Simmons is quite surprising. His character at first is really funny, knowing like what has happened. But then he also has a great conversation with Andy Samberg towards the end of it that was really, and almost brought a tear to my eye. And I was like, yeah, like this is, it's just, the whole movie is just a great kind of like metaphor for life. Basically, it's just told in a very entertaining way. But yeah, some of the conversations that JK has with Andy and their characters, it's really, I don't know. I just found it to be quite effective emotionally. And so let's see who else. I forgot who was in it. Tyler Hoechlin is in it. He's he is who he is in the movie. He's not really featured a lot, but he's in it. You have Meredith Hagner, who I've recently discovered in Search Party. She's really funny in the role as Andy's girlfriend at the beginning. Let's see. June Squibb also makes an appearance. Let's see. Camila Mendez is, the sister of Sarah. She's good. I think everyone does a pretty great job. You really got to sell the fact that Andy and Kristen's characters, they're, figuring out what's going on, and then the other players have to basically relive the same scenario and act the same scenario every single time. Peter Gallagher is also in it. But yeah, I just thought all the performances were they were light, they were fun, and everyone just kind of committed to their roles, and I really enjoyed that. But they were a great supporting cast to the core relationship of the film, and that is Sandberg and Miliotti's character. Yeah, and it's shot well. I love the scenery that they have in this. It's beautiful. It's lush. It's also barren at the same time because they're like out in the middle of the desert, but it's a really good looking movie to look at, as well as following the story. There's really nothing more to say in terms of actual filmmaking quality. It's a pretty standard, romantic comedy. There's nothing really too flashy about it, but I think the actual story and the characters and just the way this thing is presented, really commenting on a lot of stuff that I think a lot of people go through in their life. And just how we feel emotionally sometimes when we're stuck in a rut or we're stuck in the same, mundane type of daily life. It's stuff like that kind of, it gets you out of that funk a little bit when you watch something like this. And you're like, yes, life does seem mundane sometimes, but maybe there's just that one path that we got to take to get us out of that rut. And I think a lot of us can relate to that. And, I just thought that was really well handled. So, yeah, I don't know what else to say, guys. It's a romantic comedy that has a time loop in it. It's got Andy Samberg, Kristen Milioti. What more could you want? I don't really want to spoil anything more about the plot and how it's going to end. The universe that they build, the rules that they follow. I think that's something that you should check out if this is your bag. It's just a fun movie to kind of discover as it unfolds. So I'm going to give Palm Springs an A. I can't wait to watch it again. It's an hour and a half. It's super fast to watch. It doesn't take any time. There's no slow parts. Like, you could watch this a million times, I think, and never get tired of it. I think it's going to have that likability to it that people are going to really kind of grab onto, and I think that's why a lot of people are resonating with this film and really showing its love on Twitter. I cannot believe that, going into it, everyone was just praising it. I was like, okay, all right, we got ourselves a movie here, and I was quite surprised on how good it was and how it touched me emotionally. It made me laugh. I love following these people. And it's just an entertaining film. So, yeah, Palm Springs, I'm going to give it an A. So let me know down below what you thought of the movie. Good or bad. I read all the comments, even if I don't reply to all of them. If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can get up-to-dates on whatever movie review I throw out there. And, of course, if you are a podcast person, you want this more in audio form, I do have a podcast feed called Reel Me In: A Movie Podcast. If podcast reviews are more your bag and you don't want to see my ugly mug, I totally get it. But that will do it for this review, guys. I'm Chase Lee, and tune in next time for whatever I review next. I will see you guys later.